Okay, so if you're here, it's because you've seen my YouTube vlog on the problem that Laura had written in, expressing that she felt really snowed under and her partner doesn't understand her. And really for me, this topic is very much about speaking up and owning your truth, which is what the Vimeo healing chakra meditation is about. But this is the extended reading for the card reading, which we initially got. Just as a quick recap, she got the rightness, which was upside down, which means she's gone past the sell-by date of being okay about you know, her overdoing things and working very hard at work and also not getting the support from her partner. So in the upright, it's definitely ripe and it's time for her to deal with it. This is, for me, saying that she's actually missed the moment and she's now needing to really get herself very much in action in terms of claiming her own needs and what have you. Also here is that she's almost also knows very much what she needs to do and she can't keep her eyes closed anymore. As is beyond the illusion, she's kind of living in an illusionary world, which is also supported by this card, which, as you can see, is a very messy card in terms of lots of headaches, lots of pressure, not being able to see clearly and feeling very, very stuck. And particularly, my eye went to the mouth where she's not really speaking up there. You can really see that there. Okay. So Laura, you really need to speak up. And the other card that I thought for the brief insight reading was the courage, which was also turned upside down, which you need to claim your courage. And the Vimeo that I just recorded actually talks about your solar plexus and your heart chakra. And it's a very, very powerful meditation actually. So I recommend anyone about speaking up and owning your truth to definitely purchase that one and use it for anything to do with these elements about your self-love, speaking up, owning your truth, making the boundaries really clear, and what else? Yeah, just owning your power really, and also releasing any tribal family laws. I feel that in some way when we kind of get stuck in these sort of feelings and you're not really owning your power, there's some programming very much from your childhood that would have affected this sort of feeling that I must do this and I have to do that, and if somebody asked me to do that, this is where it all is going. But that's for the meditation. And now for continuing with the cards, what's interesting here is at the bottom of the pile of those four, and I haven't touched this deck since I did the YouTube, you can actually see that it is the evening time now. The battery did run out after all, and so I've had to charge the battery up, and I wanted to finish doing this card spread so I can keep the logging of my YouTube and my Vimeos together, you know, rather than having a gap. It's much easier to do it when it's very fresh. So really, Laura, you can see here, so it's getting bad. You're getting bound by pressure. You're feeling really like you're under a lot of suppression. And this comes from not speaking your truth, not owning your power. Very root chakra colors there, as well as the solar plexus and also a bit of the sacral chakra there. You know, this is really where you need to own your power. The power is in you, in your source, in your own ability to really claim your power. So very much there as well. Yeah, so let's have a look. So I'm just going to look at the overarching crowning situation as to maybe why. Oops. Ah, it's interesting, isn't it? Okay, we have the card here. There's too many here, but maybe you're kind of comparing yourself to others, feeling that if you don't do your bit, you know, it'll look bad on, you know, you look bad or not the same as what other people are doing. And possibly you're, in fact, you're comparing yourself to your partner, if I remember rightly, saying that that he seems to think this is how it is, you know. And the fact is, I did mention that you need to really create your own value system. Do not compare yourself to anybody. What's right for us could be wrong for somebody else, and what's wrong for somebody else or right for somebody else could be wrong for us. And this is very much saying that. All right. Don't want to use these cards. I might do actually. They're all quite. So I'm feeling here as well, I'm going to take all these cards because they're quite good. This is you needing to get really much more playful. I think you need to bring some play. I know you're quite tired, but I think everything's got really structured. You see how rigid this has got? When we become more serious about what we have to do and our responsibilities, we lose the element of play. So I really recommend that you bring some kind of play back into your life, Laura. All right. This is change that must happen as well. This is very cyclical, and this is something you really, really need to do. If you continue to hold on, which is really amazing, you are, in fact, you're holding on so tight and you're not letting go. You're not letting go of the responsibilities and stuff. And in fact, it's not your responsibility to be doing everything at work and allowing your business, your boss rather, to actually pile on all this extra work. So this is something you really need to let go of, because once you let go of, you will land. Okay, it's just in your mind at the moment thinking, shall I, shan't I, shall I, shan't I? And that is causing a lot of the mental stress. I really recommend that you actually play, just abandon what you're going to be in wild abandon, if you like. This is the Fool card. This is something really important for you to actually get grips with. And just to allow not only of yourself to be playful, but to take the road, the higher road of actually just letting go. Maybe stop feeling that you're so important for you to be doing everything yourself as well, and just let it see where it will fall, and maybe take the release, because really you can't be like everybody else. You're unique to yourself, whether you're the bamboo or the tree there. You are unique to yourself, and it's really important that you honor that. And the more you honor that, the more free you're going to be. Okay, there are ways of negotiating this, and it's very important that you can communicate this clearly as to what will work for you. Draw some boundaries, some parameters around what you're willing to take on at work, what you're not willing to do, and carve yourself a new road that is much more freeing and lighter. Okay, this is almost releasing the burden that you've decided to do. Like I said, also in the communication regarding a partner, you need to have the courage to do some self-healing, some self-love, and carving some time out. That is very important for you. I'm going to pull just one more card from this. In fact, in the back here we've also got, again, I'm going to read those two. This is you clinging on to the past. I think definitely something along the past has made you feel insecure, because we've got here the inner child, as you can see, okay, which is what I mentioned earlier on. We can get locked into patterns that have been stemmed from our childhood. Okay, and you're clinging on to some ideology that this is how it needs to be done. This is what I must do to look good on the outside, to be approved of. And it would have been something that maybe somebody said to you at a younger age, possibly when you're about 5 years old. And you might want to look back at that. And this is for anybody else watching that. We all do have an inner child that has got sort of stuck. And we need to release that child, because it is that child is that keeping us caged in. The other card really here is, I think there's an element of guilt and conditioning. Look, this is all really, really apt. All right. So these cards have really kind of spat out very clearly for me that, I think you're also kind of doing your own head in by the nature of the fact that you are feeling guilty. And you've got to remember that you're not solely responsible for doing all this at work. Okay, yeah, you've got to look at the flowers, take your time to really sort of smell the roses, smell the blossoms, get out of this mental thing that you're the only person responsible. It's really your time to communicate and get away from this guilt trap that you've got yourself into. All right, I think this definitely stems from the past. I think you were told that you couldn't speak up and you weren't allowed to do things the way you wanted them to. So somehow, without you realizing, you have grown into a pattern that has really served most of your life, but probably not really. But you're now realizing how difficult it is to continue to live like that. This is an opportunity for you to do some inner child work to really release it. These patterns are quite deeply coded. The chakra meditation I did do on Vimeo will definitely help to stimulate it, but I also offer inner child work with the chakras, where we can actually really unleash and to unlock the inner child that's actually stuck, and release it, so it's no longer the inner child that's navigating your life. But this can be done. You can visualize it as well, however you want to do it. You can look it up, or you can come and get something. And this confirms as well, as it's very much conditioning. This is something that you learned from the original pack of your family, like I said to you, related to the root chakra. Now, in the Vimeo video, we do talk about releasing any of the tribal belief systems that you've inherited, and that will also help you to release it. This is what's keeping you stuck, okay? Because sometimes we know that what we need to do in the mind, all right? We really do. We know that we've got to make that change. We've got to make that, make that change, get in the head about it. But what happens is we don't embody and take action. I like to see, actually, but the nice thing is I do feel the Fool card here is very much of an active card, starting over, beginning again, being spontaneous as well. So, call the wild card out, put the wild card out, and just, say no to your partner and stick to it, and you be adventurous and do whatever you want as well. You might actually feel like you want to do something like go to a pampering parlor, so you can still go out, but not do whatever he wants to do, which is maybe to watch football, or I'm being really sexist here, or generic, but it may be not what you want to do, which is also exhausting you as well, because sometimes when we even do things for other people, despite we're actually engaged in it, it gets very tiring because we're actually carrying a guilt of not feeling comfortable of doing what we really want. I really suggest you go out and play, or even some dancing here, which will release some of the blocked energy that you are feeling and the frustration that you're probably feeling, that you're too tired to do much over the weekend, you say. But I reckon if you actually went out dancing and did something more fun and that's more playful to you, you will really, really shift that energy. I don't think you're very far from doing that at all. Yeah, I'll just see if there's any more cards that want to come out. Just one more card if it wants to come out. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to another deck. I think we've got quite a good spread here to let you know that this is something that needs to change. This is a long habit change, because this is a major arcana card as well, this is time. This is your cycle, kind of soul path coming up, calling you up on it. Okay, this is your journey that you must take. Okay, you've done enough of this. You've been holding on and doing things for other people, between you and the other person all the time. And you've been always in conflict, and you've been hanging in there thinking that you have to prove yourself, thinking that if you don't do what others do, you're not going to be liked. But that has kept you totally bound by a belief system that is not true. It is really time, and this is wonderful really, because this full card is new beginnings, just jumping off the cliff literally. Don't worry, just be unsafe, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, if you see this picture, he's just jumping off the cliff and doesn't even see where it's going to take him. So, do it. You might find that you can't stand it anymore, that you might just tell your boss to stuff it, and just kind of find yourself leaping. And don't be surprised if you do that. If you're not being met, if you're not being supported, don't be surprised if this happens. And by all means, just actually make it happen. Just say, you know what, this is not working for me anymore, and I'm going. So let's see. I think this would be enough for this tarot card spread. By the way, this is the Osho Zen Tarot cards, which I really love, and I find I connect with them very well. I'm going to go into the fairy deck, which is also one I think will be healing for you. Okay, this popped out. Now this is follow your dreams. Okay, this could be in a very significant message for you, Laura. It may mean actually to literally follow your dreams, as in if you see the figure here, she's actually dreaming at night, and maybe your dreams are telling you something right now, and they're communicating. This is something related to your heart as well. You could actually find that you might feel less exhausted if you actually honored your heart more. All right, which is the other heart chakra meditation that we did. And I feel in some way you're getting whispers at night that's telling you what you need to do. And I want you to trust that. There could be some messages definitely coming through the dream. Or you might actually have some dream ideas that you've not actually accessed. And this is something that could be actually coming through for you now, because there is a change. Maybe this is also all happening for you around, your mid-50s and not really coping at work. Because there's an element of lack of truth that we can live for so long, okay? Because you don't actually say if you, and this is for anybody, if you don't really enjoy your job or love it, I suggest that you get out and make some changes, okay? Because behind all that is always some dream that we've hidden, we've shelved, out of practicality, out of meeting the mortgage, out of, making ends meet with your partner and stuff. And we begin to lose ourselves. So very important that you follow your dream. I'm going to do another one because that one really popped out very quickly. And it could be, a message anyway. Yeah, something that could also serve your growth, something that would really, you get a lot of beauty out of. Something that makes you feel good. Maybe your dream right now is to actually just take time out. She's resting here as well. And, and if that is your immediate dream, do follow it, okay? Very, very much, very important, okay, to ease your stress and to take it nice and easy, and just really allow yourself to be totally pampered, and allow yourself to receive the messages and the pampering and the luxury of, taking some time out, which could actually be the very thing you need. Yeah, and it's interesting, I said to go to a beauty parlor or a pampering parlor, because we have this card. So I think that will do you really well, Laura, very much, that you take yourself to some place where you can actually get back in touch with your inner beauty and outer beauty as well. Sometimes taking time out physically, literally, and getting ourselves pampered, will really help to reconnect us to ourselves when we feel really rejuvenated. So I think these are really nice little fairy cards of advice. Okay, and underneath here is kindness. So I think kindness to yourself is really important, which is also related to the heart chakra. Be kind to yourself. We tend to be kind to other people, which you are clearly. You're being kind to your boss. We tend to be kind to our employers by saying yes all the time, and then you're going along with what your boyfriend or your partner wants to do at the weekends, despite the fact you're tired. You need to take time out and be kind to you. This is very, very key. So we'll take that card as your third card for this reading from the fairy deck. And I think we're going to go to the soul journey card. One card, I think, from this soul journey card, because there'll be a lesson for you here on a soul level. And let's ask, what it is. Yeah, it's a bit like a pride. You're letting the pride run you in some way, that you feel like, that something about your situation is making you rather prideful in where you are. Although this actually says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone, I don't really feel that this message is exactly what I think. You're holding on to your pride, that if you actually let go of the amount of work or tell them that you can't do it, you might find that your pride being wounded, or it'll dent your pride or something like that, because maybe you've come across as being like, oh yeah, I can do it, whatever it is. But I would say, don't let your pride get in the way, okay? In fact, don't let that be my message too. Do not let your pride get in the way of you releasing what you need to do. Yeah, and I don't believe that you've got your pride in the way with your partner, but you do need to put your foot down. Okay, really important. One last card, please. One last card from the soul journey card. Oops, do we want this one? Yeah, again, change. All right, so we have got change, Laura. Again, change is calling you. This is really, really important. You need to now change, right? And you have to understand that nothing changes without your own actions. Not that it says that, but that's my words. Nothing changes until I put my action in place. Okay, the actual thing that says here, I understand that nothing grow or evolve without movement. But I'd say that you really need to change in order to move forward and make the changes you want. And it is a form of growth, because it takes courage, as this one was the upside down. But sometimes we're so stuck in how we've been that we lose sight and courage of what we need to do. And it takes courage for us to make changes and for us to grow in a new way. Okay, to grow out of the rut or whatever's keeping us stuck, which is down here. Okay, for you to flower, to really flourish into the person you're becoming, yeah, you really, really need to make that change. And the time is ripe. So, like it or not, it is very much asking you to definitely take this moment and time for you to do this. It is very important for you to do that. And yeah, otherwise you're really going to get into your head about it, but I don't think you will, because we've ended up on the Fool card and things can just come together for you to actually take action. Speak to your inner child, which is another really good way of healing the inner child. Go inward and speak to your 5-year-old self or a child that you can access and ask it what it's afraid of, and befriend your inner child to really release. But I think you're definitely on your way. Yeah, stop holding on to this pride about you have to be a certain type of person to be able to be good at what you do, or to be accepted or even approved of anybody's opinion. Okay, very important. In fact, I had that mantra as in the Vimeo that I now release anybody's approval for me to do my own thing, or whatever it was I did say. But sometimes our pride will keep us there, or we get mistaken, the fear for pride. But whatever it is, change is on its way. You must change. Change is beckoning. Release the old conditioning. Stop the guilt. Let go. Completely surrender. And this beautiful follow-up from the surrender card to the Fool. Go out and play. And I really believe that if you go out and play, if you can see this card again, if you go out and play, it will kind of release the shackles off a bit. You won't be so kind of rigid. Which is what this figure is. I mean, look at me. I mean, it's bending there, but it's probably so stuck that it's probably stiffened up from letting go. You've got to just do that, as this card also. I'm sorry if it's not very well focused, but this card also is very much a card of rigid thinking. Okay, we want to get into a bit of fun, sexy, hot, sassy red color. Get your tribal colors on, the red. Okay, and really good, have a good time out. Go to some comedy, whatever it is that you really would like to let yourself hair down as well. And most important, I would say be kind to yourself. Take some time out. Instead of going away at the weekends doing things with your man, I suggest that you take yourself to somewhere gentle, healing, warming, and somewhere that can maybe even re-beautify you. You know, go and have a makeover. All right, that is my advice for you. This is for anybody else as well, that when we're not speaking up and owning your truth, and we get ourselves in a tiz, our head in a tiz, and we do things out of guilt, you do lose your center, you become conditioned, or you've become conditioned, or you're coming out of condition, and really it's time to take charge. Start to be nice and kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself, you know, and follow your dreams. Your dreams could be speaking to you, or even more on a mundane level, in an ordinary level. There might be some things that you'd like to do, like you might be dreaming of going to the cinema, you know, or something as simple as that, or just having a nice tub, a hot tub, and turning the phone off. You know, keep the, you know, that you've got any children, but this is for anybody with children. You know, trust that feeling that you've got. But I think no home pampering or external pampering, definitely on the cards. So I'd suggest that you go and do that. Now, thanks for watching this extended reading. I hope it's helped anybody and everybody. And this advice is generic, and it is what's called a Cledon, which means there'll be a message for you if you are somebody who is snowed under but feels that you can't get your boss to listen or your partner to understand. Take my advice. This is where you're coming from. This is what you need to do. Stop comparing yourself. Let go of your pride. Follow the change. If you're clinging on to the past, and you know that you are, because this is how you've been brought up and raised, let go of it all, because it's now time for you to become free, own your power, and be kind to yourself. Thanks for watching, and go back to YouTube if you like and see my rest of my vlogs that are there, which will be posted up every week on Ask Rafah, where your problems are answered. Your life guide for all relationship problems, core and life. Thanks again. Bye. Okay, I'm just going to, I just said goodbye and kind of switched off, but this is a bit of an add-on. Because I do forget, and I'm in a hurry today, as you can tell. It's been a long day. Is that underneath this soul journey deck, which we had the change and the pride card, which I've actually put back, is self-esteem as well. And like I said, in the advice, particularly in the chakra healing, it's your esteem. Okay, this is what's to do with the boundaries that you're not putting up. So this is one of the key areas that you have the potential to work with right now. And it says, I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And what happens is, when we start taking charge of our own esteem, we put ourselves first, despite the discomfort that we might have in doing so. You actually gift it to other people. Trust me, you will find that it will change your relationship with your boss. Certainly give you the esteem. So don't worry about what your boss will do or not do. Your job here is to actually really fulfill your inner power, your inner strength, and your inner core, particularly your esteem, where your boundaries are very important. All right, about saying no. When we strengthen our solar plexus, we will be able to say no quite comfortably and firmly. Okay, so this was under the deck, so I wanted to highlight that, and I must remember to mention it. And the other deck was actually the romantic partner, and I thought I might just bring this up, and rather than reading it as just a romantic partner, I feel also, Laura, that, or anybody, when you change yourself, when we change and put certain boundaries in place and start owning our changes that we need to make, because it's never about the other person. You're actually saying your partner, you know, is taking you out and doesn't listen to you and stuff, but who's letting him do that? You are. Okay, so when this is in place, you're able not only to feel more romantic towards yourself, which is what the beauty cards I feel also enhanced, but you will rekindle a much happier relationship with your partner. All right, which is really important, because also partnerships sour when we tend to project what we're not doing for ourselves onto a partner and think that they're at fault, but in fact it's us. So you can have the potential here to not only build a new relationship with your partner, but also possibly with your boss by, you don't say whether it's he or she, but it is a partnership card as well. And if I was to read it just more generally, you know, and you see these two equal pots, it's like two equal standing there. Okay, very important. So just at the bottom of the deck, really, as an add-on to the Vimeo I recorded, and I decided to tag this on. So again, thanks for watching. Yeah, and I will try and remember to read the bottom of the deck next time. Thanks a lot. Bye. you.